Alright folks, welcome to another coal painting tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at doing a Super Dungeon Explorer questing night. Here is our paint list. Pause it if you want to write this down. Just starting off, I've primed this guy black and then hit it zenithally with Vallejo's gray primer. The first color I'm going to use here is a little bit off camera. I'm sorry about that. I will fix it as I go along, but is hitting the black areas with heavy violet. The first color we're going to put over the majority of the model here, leaving that heavy violet in the darkest recesses of the shadows, is Vallejo Game Color Warlord Purple. You can use the Game Color or the Game Air. Either case here, we're just trying to hit the majority of the model with that color, from the top down, to make it look all cool and cartoony. Gonna hit the first highlight here with Warlord Purple and White at about a 70-30% mix. Apologies for being off the screen. So apparently my eyes were pretty bad when I was doing this one, and I had to get it really close to my face for whatever reason, but we're just adding a little bit more white, closer to a, say, 60-40 or 50-50 mix of Warlord Purple and White to make this next highlight going up, as you can see here. And at this point, do I realize that actually I'm off screen this entire time, so I'm going to be moving back a little bit more and more as I do this wash. Now, I'm going to do a wash with Carroburg Crimson from Citadel. There we go, now everything's nice and fixed. And I'm focusing on a lot of those darker areas. I'm just trying to create a little bit more of a blend, a little bit more of a shadow, and a bit of a better transition for those areas. Okay, with that last wash all dry, and you can take a look at how that red has intensified the color a bit here. I'm going to go in for that plume on the top of his head. I'm just going to give it a nice coat of heavy gold brown. Thin it out. It's a yellowish color, so it's going to take a couple coats. But I'll go through it twice here, so I'll hit it once nice and quick, let it dry, and then I'll do the second coat off camera. Alright, you can see that I grabbed the silly putty and then masked off the entire model nice and quick. And here I'm just going to go over for the first highlight onto that plume with Vallejo Model Colors Beige. The second highlight is done with Vallejo Model Airs Sand. To reclaim some of that original color of that gold brown, I just watered it down and started feathering it in, kind of using it as a quasi-wash here in some of the areas there should be a little bit more shadow, just trying to get a little bit more depth back into there because the airbrush kind of took over and made it a little bit too bright for my liking. Okay, we're going to take the time now to hit that cloak, now that the top part of it's done with the plume. I'm going to water down some Vallejo Model Colored Stone Gray, and then we're going to let it dry, and then hit it again, so it's probably going to take you 2 or so coats if you're ever going to use this kind of color, because it is pretty translucent, even though it's a model color range, which are generally higher pigment. As that stone gray was drying, and not to bore all of you guys, I went through and I hit everything else that I wanted to be black, or a different color black, including some black lining. And here we're going to add some shadows to that cloak. We're going to use Vallejo Model Airs Camo Black Brown, and just hit it in any of the under areas or the folds that are there. We're going to go back in one more time after this to re-highlight it, so if you get a little bit too much paint in some areas, that's okay. Okay, I mixed together some of that stone gray and white at about 50-50, and I'm going to go into the cloak now and just hit that as a highlight. Normally I don't use white for highlights, it washes out colors, but I figured because this is an anime or cartoon-inspired piece, that kind of brightness would work. Alright guys, we're going to use my favorite gold mix here, which is about 50-50 Glorious Gold and Vallejo Model Air Steel here. And we're going to go across any areas that we want to be gold. Now, if you ever find yourself painting one of these Chibi models or anything else that you've black lined, you're going to find that, or something that has a trim onto it, you're going to find that black lining in this case is going to be really helpful to make that edge pop. So as you can see as I'm going across all the shoulder pads here, having that extra black line between the purple or pink and then the gold really is making that nice edge definition here. Apologies for the head getting in the way. As I get to his butt plate, before we fade to black here, you're going to see what it looks like without a black line. I forgot to edge that in right here. It doesn't look nearly as good, so before the end of the project, I'm going to go back in there and paint a black edge to make it look and pop that gold a lot more. Okay, and here is a quick look to see what this guy looks like once all of the gold is done. You're going to see me going in now, just using Seraphim Sepia, kind of laying it on here, just to ensure that I get enough shadow and tint to make the actually look really gold and antique for the visor and any of the larger areas of the gold. Alright guys, so the armor here, actually on the model, is pitted, so it kind of gives us a little bit of work to do in terms of trying to create a depth of weathering or damage. This guy's a questing knight who's going around and getting into a lot of fights. So what I did was mix together some Warlord purple and black, and I'm just filling in some of those dents and divots that are across his the purple part of his armor. Okay, so you can see that the dents are there, but to give it some level of realism and depth to those dents, I'm going to mix together some Warlord purple and white, and essentially here, just hit the bottom section of each one of those dents to give it the idea that there's actually a hole there and then light's reflecting on the bottom part. Now this can be used in a lot of different ways. This is a Chibi model, so it's kind of simplistic to do, but the concept is the same for like doing scratches on Terminator or Space Marine armor on the sides of tanks. Basically you want to go in and create the damage with a darker tone than what the base color is, and then highlight it with a tone that's a little bit brighter than the highest highlight on the model. Okay, so for me, I thought that little section on the top of the visor was a gem, so I'm going to paint it like a ruby, going in there with Vallejo's gory red and black, mixed together just to create a nice dark red base coat. To create the main color for that gem, I'm just going to use plain gory red. Going on a little bit thick here, I was going to do a bit of two-brush blending. That's when you use a slightly heavier coat than what you're used to, but then load up your brush with saliva, and then you can actually push it around. Saliva is cool in this case because it doesn't break the surface tension of the paint, and you can actually see me pushing it around, kind of like what you can do with oil paint, but with this just being a normal acrylic. As a final highlight here, I'm going to just draw on some lines using Vallejo model color Scarlet, and then a little bit of white mixed in there too, to kind of create that high light reflection and kind of maintain that cartoonish feel of it. There was also some dents and divots on the visor, so in this case I'm just going in with Vallejo's Charred Brown, hitting all those areas. The metallic paint will give us a kind of natural highlight for the bottom section of it as well. For the lance's shaft, I guess you can call it, you're just going to fire up the airbrush and then hit it with some Vallejo Model Air white. In this case, the white's pretty thinned out, so you can see kind of going on looking like it's a gray. This is very, very low PSI, and just trying to feather it out. I will bring it up to like a brighter white along the top, and then keep it a little bit more grayish along the sides, and almost black on the bottom. And after finishing out the base with some stone gray and then a wash, hitting the edge of the base with black, this is what your miniature will look like. Great guys, thanks for watching this tutorial on how to paint a Super Dungeon Explorer questing knight. If you've enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, do all that kind of social media stuff. It helps me out a ton. If you're looking to get your own commission set up, what I can do is get your information either through Facebook at facebook.com/coldpaintingtable or on YouTube messages here. And I'd love to help you guys out to get a painted army. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a great day.